Welcome back to your news channel. The community of Belle Island, Newfoundland, came together recently to rescue 4 dolphins that were stuck in thick ice. The island is located in Conception Bay off the Avalon Peninsula. Residents used a giant sling to transport the dolphins to open water. And for more on how it all went down, we're joined on the line by Byrne. She's a resident of Belle Island who helped in this search. Christine, great to have you here on CTV. Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So how did this all begin?
On Sunday morning, it was some boys was out looking for seals, and they went by the beach, and apparently they see some dolphins into a pond of water where the ice here in Conception Bay now is full. So he ended up coming back, and then my nephew found out about it, and he notified another one of my nephews, Lenny Gear. And so we ended up going up there and then looking at the dolphins in the pond. And so later they were wondering, like, the water was going to be coming in later on that afternoon. It was going to get high tide. So the ice would have been pushing the dolphins ashore. So they were wondering if they could take them from where they were at to put them over into, excuse me, another pond. It's called Lance Cove Pond, where boats usually are kept. And so they were talking to the mayor here on Belle Island, and they asked to see if what could be done. So they said to leave them alone at first because they didn't want to harm the dolphins or nothing. So as the day progressed, it was we ended up coming back down home, and we went back around 7 o'clock that night. It was myself and Lenny Gear, young Paul Murphy, and so we were up there and we were just watching. But then my nephew went down further and he could hear like gushing. So he seen there was another dolphin somewhere else. So we ended up going down further. Lenny and Paul ended up getting on the pond to see that the dolphin was out behind another pond. So he was after getting out under the ice from the rest of the dolphins.
And Christine, if I can jump in, this was all happening during a blizzard, right? I mean, we've been following pretty bad weather conditions in Newfoundland the last couple of days.
Oh, yes, yeah. We're after having a nice lot of weather coming on. That's what happened to how the dolphins got trapped, was because of the weather that we were after having.
Wow. This is a crazy story. How did you feel once you guys realized you'd managed to rescue these dolphins?
Oh, it was an unbelievable feeling. Well, that night, the 2 boys jumped from pan to pan, and then my brother come down. I ran across the beach to get a rope for them to help the dolphin up out of the water to get them back with the rest. So they put the rope on the dolphin and pulled it across the ice and released them back with the rest in the other side. So that was Sunday night. So then my nephew, Lenny Gear, he was going back and forth all night checking to see, because he wanted to make sure to see how they were. So early in the morning, he went back up. He noticed on Monday morning, they were breeding. Some of them were gone ashore. So Lenny ended up, it was a few more boys come along, and so they tried to bring one across the beach. So when they got him almost halfway, they lost him. He died.
Wow.
So we put it. My niece put it on Facebook. We needed help for the rest of the dolphins. So of course the boys all chipped in. Some did tarps and rope. So we all went back up to the beach, and it was 7. In the very first one that they got across, it was 7 people carried it into. They used a tarp and put some ropes through the hoops. And he kept him up straight, so because he couldn't let him fall on his side because his lungs could have crushed. So we got him across over. The tarp ripped. We had another tarp to go underneath him. So he took him, and he got up over the hill. And my nephew, Randy Beckford, had his truck at the end of the beach. So they put him up in the top of on top of the truck, and we brought him over, and they released him down into the pond. When he went in the pond, he wasn't breathing properly. My brother, John Gear Jr., known as Doughboys, jumped down into the water to keep the dolphin's head straight, so he got his air.
Wow,
Then
Christine, I'm gonna have to jump in, Christine, but I want to thank you for taking some time to tell us the whole story about this.
Yeah.
And we've been watching, we've been following, and congratulations on what you guys on Belle Island were able to do to help these dolphins.
Oh yes, well it took a community to do it.
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot of young fellas that came there and helped with the other 7, like to make up a tarp, like a stretcher at first with 2 tarps and sticks to try to carry the dolphins across. And then the paramedic went to the hospital and got an older stretcher to bring the last one across. But the last one, they had to maneuver he was out in the pond of water, maybe 20 feet offshore. They used driftwood, and they had a ladder to go from the driftwood to one iceberg, I should say, the pan of ice. Then as they crawled out on the ladder, then they took the ladder and went out to the next pan, and the gentleman, Jim Bennett, he crawled on his belly out, crossed, and got on the other pan of ice, and they put the rope over the fin, but it came off.
All right, Christine, I'm going to have to jump in. We were out of time. We got to go to commercial, but thank you for coming on the program. All the best. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.